will have seen me painting some bits of paper, and you might be wondering what's that all about. So these are effectively my own paint chips, and I want to show you how I use them basically. So I've taken a number of my my acrylics that I intend to use in my work, and I've painted the mass tone on the top and the undertone underneath, and the reason you do that, or the reason I do it, is even though some colours might look the same as a mass tone, what do I mean by mass tone? I mean the actual, what it looks like straight out the tube. Some colours might look a bit similar, but when you start to add white and turn them into undertones, you can really see their properties. So yeah, the undertones will show the properties of the paint better than the mass tone. And you might be thinking that this is a beautiful colour, but it might not work with, well, for example, Prussian is a very, I would say that was a very cool colour. So it was on the cool side of the spectrum. So if you tried to mix that with maybe a warm colour, they would cancel each other out and it would look a bit dead. But then if you mixed it, added it on the canvas next to another cool colour, maybe it would harmonise. It's just those considerations that you have to think about when you're putting colours next to each other. I mean, it's not a massive deal. A lot of what we do as artists is instinctual, but if you don't know your undertones and then you try to add colours and why it's not working on the canvas as a mass tone, it might be because the actual properties of the paint are not singing together. So it's just helpful to be able to see what you're working with. So for example, I've got 3 magentas here, primer magenta, process magenta and quinacridone magenta, and I mean the process is quite thick and it covers more, the mass tone covers more area, but I mean even between the process magenta and the quinacridone magenta, they're quite similar. It's only when you start looking at the undertones that you can see there's a vast difference. I don't know if that's picking up on camera, but you've got this process magenta, which is definitely on the cooler side, and then the quinacridone magenta, again, it's very red, it's very blue, I mean, it's really, and then the process magenta. So 3 magentas, but 3 different properties. And if you didn't know that and you try to do a painting, you'd have like oranges and yellows reacting differently to this than they would to this and this. And it's just, it's important to know these things if you want to bring out elements in your paintings. So yeah, why don't you try it? Make yourself some paint chips with your paints. So I'm gonna play around with paint chips for a while and see what colours combinations I like. I mean, I know what colour combinations I like, but I haven't really had the chance to compare the paints I've got and what works well together. So I need to tidy up the studio as well a little bit. Constant words out my lips, I need to tidy up. But yeah, so I'm going to play around with some combinations and see what pops out.